Good morning from Colombo. And what is it that you see? What you see right now are two contrasting things. Firstly, if you see the sky, you will see some grey clouds right above. These are rain clouds. But if you see there in the horizon, right there, you see blue patches, you see clear skies. If you see there as well, clear skies, and if you continue to see the sky like this, even till here, that is all clear, which is in that sense good news. You see, you can see clear skies, blue skies there. So that's good news. What the latest update is right now, and it's about 8:05 in the morning, that it's not raining right now at 8:05. But if you look at the floor below there, or if you look at the road there, if I'll try and show you the road there, you can see that the road here is wet, which means it has rained last night as well as early morning. If you see those patches there you see those patches there you can see those patches there. Those patches are all wet patches. Otherwise it's completely green grassland that you have in front of the beach. It's completely green sort of a park. But right now what you see are patches which are wet patches right there. So this is giving you an idea how the ground could be if it wasn't covered. But luckily the ground was covered last night with the full covers, because as you know, it started raining for the second time. So if that is the case, then right now there's good news that after rain early morning and at night, there is no rain right now at 8 a.m. and the good thing is that it will not rain now for at least a few hours. That much I can confirm, that it is not going to rain for the next few hours, because it's completely clear. You get an idea of the rain for the next few hours looking at the horizon, because the clouds come from the ocean side. Now because the dark clouds have gone by, there you see the dark clouds, they've gone by, which means that the rain has also gone by. Even that side when I'm looking, it's all clear, complete horizon, even till there it's completely clear, which is good news, which means the next few hours it's not going to rain. But as I said, this is right now just 8 o'clock in the morning, and the game is of course going to start at 3 o'clock. So there's a lot of time for the weather to change. Maybe it'll be bright, maybe it'll rain, maybe it'll be bright again. We don't know. We'll keep updating you on Sports Today regularly. But at the moment I can tell you that it's cleared up. Those blue skies are a good sign. It's a very unusual scenario that we find ourselves in. I mean, usually I'm covering test matches and we go to day 2, day 3, but the IPL final went 2 days, and it is right now pretty much the same scenario here at the Asia Cup, where we are going to be having day 2 of the match between India and Pakistan. So it is going to be day 2, which is interesting, but I just hope that that game happens. And if you are watching it from India's perspective, I think it was good that you had a reserve day, and where the game stopped, you did not have a shortened game, because the shortened game would have taken away the advantage that India had built. They had built a fantastic base, and from that base, because they were playing for a 50 over game, it would have suited India if they got a chance to play the entire 50 overs. A shortened game would have only benefited the team chasing. So in that sense, I guess Indian fans should be happy that you had a backup of sorts, that you had a reserve day, and that game will happen today. As for today, I know a lot of you are asking me those questions about the weather. I mean, the weather app is showing that it's going to rain. There are 90% chances of rain, which was there yesterday as well. And when it said that 90% chance of rain, we only got about 2-3 hours of rain, but that was enough to wash out the game. And if that is the case again, then maybe another day of washout, maybe a shortened game is what you will get, is possible. But having said that, I do remember that in that Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh game also, there were chances of 90% rain, but the game happened uninterrupted. That entire game happened. So fingers crossed, maybe exactly the same thing happens today as well. But as I said, there is no way of guaranteeing whatever. I'm not an expert on weather. In fact, forget me, even the experts on weather which put out the predictions are getting things wrong. So there's no certain way of exactly knowing what is going to happen later. The only way you'll find out if you subscribe to Sports Today and be with us, so we will know. But as of now, what it does seem like, as Ribery legend, his YouTube name I'm sure points out, that it'll be sunny in a few hours. It does seem like that. It does seem like that it'll be sunny in a few hours, because the grey clouds are just gone by. They've kind of moved from here, and there are blue skies in the horizon. But as I said, there is a lot of time left for that game to happen. So by the time that game happens, many things are going to change. So we don't know exactly how it remains. Will it rain or not? The Indian team came back early today. They would have expected to come back at about 12, but they were here at 9:30 or so. A lot of them then had dinner in the hotel, so they would have had time to relax. They could have also, in that sense, recalibrated their idea of how they are supposed to, approach this day. But a lot of things are out of their control. So interesting. I hope we get a game, because as I put a tweet out yesterday, June 16th, 2019 still remains the last completed one-day international between India and Pakistan. That was at the 2019 World Cup. After that, we haven't had one India versus Pakistan one-day match, and which is why there is a lot of excitement. A lot of people are waiting for the one day to happen, because till now we've only been posturing and talking, this team is better, that bowling attack is better, this batting is better, this team is number one. But the two teams haven't played an ODI in 4 years, 2 months. So really, to gauge who is where at what level in ODI cricket, you really need to have one game. Last time also 266, the game could not continue, and this time around you've got India starting very well, 147. I mean, if a full 50 over game happens, I'll be surprised if they score anything less than 320. So they're on course to get that. But unfortunately, we haven't had a game. So that's the scenario. In case the game does not happen, then the points will be split. Both teams will have 1 point. That will be interesting, because then the fight for final becomes tough for India. Pakistan already have 2 points. They'll get one more. They'll be 3 points. Sri Lanka won against Bangladesh. They've got 2 points. And rain predicted in the next few games for India in the game versus Sri Lanka as well as Bangladesh. So we don't know what happens there. So for India, this draw isn't going to be enough. They would want a win, especially for final qualification. And if all of us are waiting for an India-Pakistan final, then you needed a result here. Especially India were looking for a win. So that's where it is. Somebody is pointing out, Sharan is saying the weather is getting better. Yeah, it is. As I said, I can see the blue skies there, so the rain clouds have gone past. It will get better the next few hours for sure, and maybe going on from there. Hopefully, by the time we get to the ground by 1 o'clock, I'll again report around 1 o'clock from the ground. Hopefully, we'll have better things to report. Jitendra wants me to talk in Hindi. Jitendra, I cannot. This is an English channel, my friend. I also speak in Hindi when I go to AajTak, but right now I'm on Sports Today. This is an English channel, and you got to understand there are a lot of people who do not understand Hindi in our country. They understand their mother tongue, and their second language is English. So okay, let me take 1 or 2 questions. Akhil is saying, is the Indian team management telling a lie that Shreyas got a back injury so they can play both Ishan and Rahul in the team and get a conclusion who's a better player? No, Akhil, no. I'm not surprised people are doubting it, because the Indian team management has done it in the past, where they've just said someone is injured when they've had to make a rotation, and to avoid that backlash from the press as well as fans, they sometimes say somebody is injured, but that wasn't the case last time. I must tell you what happened exactly. It was decided in the night when the team decides their 11. Indian team always decides it on the eve of the game. It was decided that KL Rahul was sitting out, Ishan Kishan was playing, and Shreyas Iyer was playing. It was decided. The team went to the ground with that same plan. Then they had the huddle before they started playing. The team does a huddle, discuss a few things, and then they start doing their drills 1 hour before they came. While they were doing their drills, Shreyas Iyer was taking some catches on the boundary, those high catches. He was taking some high catches, and he was running around on the boundary taking those high catches. While he was doing that, taking those high catches, running around the boundary, he pulled up his back. He had some back spasm. Then he was rushed inside. He went inside with some discomfort, and I'm telling you all this having watched these things that transpired just 1 hour before the game. And then you saw Rahul Dravid run helter-skelter, looking and a bit worried. Team management got worried because they realized last moment Shreyas has had a back issue. So they were like, what to do? Then they caught hold of KL Rahul, Rahul Dravid, the coach, told him, listen, Shreyas has pulled up a back, you're in, you're playing. And so get yourself ready accordingly. And then you started seeing KL Rahul doing a bit of knocking, practicing a bit. So all of that started happening. So it wasn't a feigning of injury. It was a genuine injury, and after which you had a scene where KL Rahul got a chance. But it's going to be interesting now. I think KL Rahul has started well, hit those 2 boundaries, which is helping him probably get back into the groove, playing after so long. So it will get interesting going forward in the future. But for Shreyas Iyer, I mean, I'm an Indian fan. He's part of my World Cup team, and I'm a bit worried now. I'm a bit worried because he's just come back trying to fix that injury, and he's just played half a game, and that injury has come back again. Oh, I'm a bit worried with that. So, as so many of you are saying Hindi, this is an English channel, my friend. This is an English channel. Sports Today is an English channel. I cannot go to a Hindi channel and speak in Tamil, and I can't go to a Tamil channel and speak in French. So that is what it is, my friend. We also have a Hindi channel. You can check out that. Hamza is asking the rain update. I already gave the rain update, Hamza. Check it out earlier. Let me take. Somebody is asking if we'll get a 20 over match. Too early to say all of that. Yeah, 20 over, 10 over. It's not 100% sure what you will get. The playing conditions will be decided as we go along, which means that it will start as a 50 over match. It still remains a 50 over match, and that is only because not a single ball was bowled. You remember last night what was happening? It had been decided that the game will start at 9 o'clock. And it would have been a 34 over match. Imagine if the teams had come out and 1 over would have happened, and then the rain came again, then it would have remained a 34 over match. Even today you would have started out like that, keeping it a 34 over match. But just about 20 minutes before the play was to start, 9 o'clock the play was to start, 8:40 the rain came again, not a single ball was bowled, so it still remains a 50 over match. That's the playing condition. So right now 50 over match fully. If you get good weather, who knows, you might get to see a full 50 over match. As I said, the weather has kind of cleared up. Still clouds in the air, but it's not raining, and the weather has cleared up there. So hopefully we'll get good weather. Yeah, but right now I can't gauge the exact weather. I'll only know around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock what the weather would be like. But you tune into Sports Today, I'll do a live from the ground. So somebody is asking me because I explained about the Iyer injury. Have you seen injuries at the ground before? Yeah. I remember Yuvraj Singh had an injury just before play was to start. He was playing Kho-Kho. He was playing Kho-Kho and got injured. And it was a long injury. He injured his knee. If I'm not mistaken, it's happened with Ridhiman Saha as well. I remember during a test match. So happened with him too. So it does happen. These kind of injuries just before a match. It does happen. Who can replace Shreyas if the Indian team? Yeah, it's a good question. I think going forward, if these injuries are going to keep happening with him, I will be reluctant to take him then to the World Cup. I'll be worried because these things keep coming back during the World Cup. What are you going to do? So might as well groom somebody now, for that backup position, because if this is going to keep occurring again and again, then look at a replacement. So most likely, I think in your 11, you will then be able to slot both Ishan and KL. Then KL probably plays as a middle order batsman, Ishan then your wicketkeeper batter. But you need a backup, right? You'll need a backup. What KL would have been a backup to, let's say, Ishan, and Surya would have been a backup to Shreyas. If Shreyas is out, then KL plays in the 11. Surya then becomes the backup to probably KL, a middle order batsman. And KL can then be backup for Ishan in case, they can rotate like that. But another batter will have to come in. A middle order batter will have to come in. I don't know what they might look at. You can look at Sanju Samson. Don't look at him as a wicketkeeper batter, but just as a batter, middle order batter. You can look at it. But I think most likely team might even look at Tilak Verma. So because he's part of the squad. And during that press conference we had for the World Cup selection, I had asked this question to Ajit Agarkar where he made it very clear that yes, I asked him, have you told people to be ready as backup in case there's an injury? So he said yes, the players that are here, 18, that included a Tilak Verma, Prasidh Krishna, Sanju Samson. He said those guys have been told that in case there's an injury, till 27th you can still announce your squad and make as many changes. So it said they have been sounded off that in case of an injury, you just come in. So who knows, Tilak Verma might be that guy who then replaces Shreyas Iyer. Could be. I think the next few days we'll know clarity about his injury, but you can't risk this. I think you need to have full clarity. If he's not going to be fit, if these injuries are going to come back, better to go with a younger, inexperienced player, but you're sure of his fitness, rather than an experienced player whose fitness you're not sure of. Somebody saying, why can't we have a match at 12? You just can't change timings like that. It's unusual that the broadcaster plays a major role in that. Timings are decided. Also remember, it's a Monday, it's a working day. So usually later half of the day is when people can watch. So, which is why you can't really change the time to 12 or something like that. Won't happen. Okay guys, those are the latest updates from here. I can't take all your questions for the moment. But if you're just tuning in, just go back. I've given a detailed report of the weather of how things are at the moment, right? Hope that is going to be helpful for you. Somebody mentioned about the ground staff. I tell you what, I've been very impressed by the ground staff here in Sri Lanka, especially in Palakele, but a bit disappointed with the ground staff here in Colombo. I think yesterday, if they had been a bit more quicker and covered that area, I know the rain was very heavy, very intense, so that also didn't help them. But that one area where they allowed that river to flow in another patch where it became very wet, had that been covered in time, because the rain stopped at 6:15, but you were looking to play till 9. There was no rain after that. So about a 3-hour turnaround time is a lot. That could have been turned around in 1.5 hours or so. You could have probably had another hour and a half of play. And maybe overs also wouldn't have been reduced. So you could have had another hour and a half of play. So maybe they need to get their act together. Like Palakele. Palakele was outstanding. The ground staff was outstanding. Their efficiency was fantastic. I didn't see that here, which is why I think we lost another hour and a half where we could have had some play. Hopefully today they'll get it better. The next time the rain came, the ground staff was better prepared and they got to cover the ground better, in a better way and quicker. Had they done it the first time around, those puddles of water which I put on Twitter as well wouldn't have formed. That is something I think where the ground staff yesterday in Colombo kind of hurt. Otherwise, very hardworking guys, lots of them. I mean, you got to feel for them. They keep putting the covers, taking them off, drying them and using different techniques. But yesterday, slight mistake, and because of which you had wet patches which took a long time to go, which is why it became a 3-hour turnaround time. Yeah, one final look, and no rain right now, and it's clearing up a bit. See, dark clouds have kind of disappeared. Next update from the ground around 12:31 onwards. See you then. Take care. Nikhil Nath signing off from Colombo.